swagger like us, swagger like us. No one on the corner has swagger like us, swagger like us, swagger like us. No one on the corner has swagger like us.
Hey, what's up, guys? I got an interesting email today from a player, and the question was, what is the best approach to have at the plate? Is it aggressive? Is it passive? Is it somewhere in between? And he wanted my opinion on that. So I want to take a few minutes today to talk a little bit about approach at the plate, answer that question, because a lot of times we talk about mechanics and the mechanics of hitting, but the bottom line is a lot of times it's the mental ability, it's the ability to get a good pitch to hit, and if we don't get that good pitch, well, it doesn't matter how good our mechanics are. So I want to talk a little bit about the mental side and approach. The first thing is our objective when we go to the plate. We pretty much, and right now I'm talking about nobody on, let's just say a normal at-bat. We're not talking about a situational hitting that we're trying to either move a guy over or score a run from third or anything like that. We're just talking about a normal at-bat. Let's just say first inning, no score, and we're hitting. So your objective in an at-bat is to get a good ball to hit and to put a good swing on it. The most important thing at the plate is to get a good ball to hit, because if you don't get that good ball, if you're chasing pitchers' pitches, it doesn't matter how good you are. You're not going to be as successful as you could be if you were to get a good ball to hit. So that's the first thing you got to do, is get a good ball to hit. The second thing is to put a good swing on it and don't miss it. How do we do that? It's really important now when we're looking at, do we want to be aggressive? Do we want to be patient? Are we somewhere in the middle? I don't want to say that we want to be extremely aggressive, and I don't want to say that we want to be extremely patient. We have to be somewhere in the middle, because the aggressiveness is going to come from being prepared to hit that pitch, being ready, being on time, and wanting to swing the bat when we get that pitch, because your favorite pitch, or the pitch that you're looking for, isn't going to be thrown to you very often. In a lot of at-bats, you only get one pitch to hit. A lot of times you're not going to get 2 or 3 or 4 times to get that good pitch to hit. So it's important to be ready, to be aggressive enough that when you get that pitch, you're going to put a good swing on it. And if you do that enough, and hopefully your swing is good enough, that if you have that mentality, you're going to be successful. So that's where the aggressiveness comes into play. And when I talk about aggressiveness, a lot of times we'll talk about hitting with a yes, yes, no approach, and not the other way around. And all that means, I've talked about it in a few other videos, but basically what that means is when you're at the plate, mentally you know what pitch you're looking for in that situation, and you're telling yourself, I'm going to put a good swing on it. I'm expecting the pitch in my spot that I'm looking for, and I'm thinking yes, yes, no. So I'm gearing up to hit, and the only thing that I have to do is say no and don't swing. So it should be, as the pitcher's in his windup and he's going to throw the ball to you, it should be yes, yes, and then we see the ball, and if it's not in our zone, well, then all we say is no, and we don't swing. If you were to go the other way and to say no, no, yes, it's going to be really, really tough to hit, especially when you're older and pitchers throw harder and they have more pitches and they know what they're doing out there. If you think you're going to be on the more passive end and say, no, let me see this ball deep, yes, oh, that's a good pitch, it's not going to happen for you, because pitchers start to throw too hard and they have too good of stuff as you get older, and they don't make a lot of mistakes. And if you're thinking, no, maybe, let me see this pitch, yes, okay, hit, once you realize that it's your pitch, it's not going to happen. So it's important to have the yes, yes, no approach and not the other way around. So that's where the aggressiveness comes in to play when you're talking about mental approach to hitting, being aggressive. Now, you can call that an aggressive approach, but where the passiveness comes in, or the patience, is the ability to get that pitch. Because a lot of times what you'll see, there are some hitters that struggle because they are too patient or too passive, and they sit there all day waiting for the absolute perfect pitch that you're not going to get very often. And they take a lot of good hittable pitches and they take those for strikes. They fall behind in the count, and especially at higher levels, once you fall behind, the pitcher has the ability to never give in to you and never give your pitch once he gets ahead of you if you're not going to swing. So that's what happens when you're too passive or too patient. But there's the other end of the spectrum when guys are too aggressive and they get up and they swing on a curveball first pitch in the dirt for strike. And then they swing at a fastball off the plate for a strike. And they're essentially doing almost the same thing as a super patient guy that lets pitchers go for strikes. You're swinging at balls, creating strikes for the pitcher, and now you're letting him do whatever he wants to, and you're at his mercy. So that's why I say you want to be aggressive, but you can't be so much aggressive that you're saying yes, yes, no to everything, to every pitch, and you're saying, excuse me, not yes, yes, no, but just yes, 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 super aggressive, swinging at balls out of the plate, off the plate, out of the zone, and helping the pitcher out. So there's a fine line when you're looking at whether to be aggressive or patient. I always say that I think you want to be aggressive to your pitch. You don't just want to have an aggressive approach, or you don't want to just have a patient approach. You want to be aggressive to your pitch with a little bit of patience sprinkled in there. That gives you the ability to wait for your pitch and to not chase outside the zone. And that's when plate discipline comes into the picture. So that's how I would describe what I think a good mental approach is. It's aggressive to your pitch. It's not just aggressive. I think that's the best that I can do answering that question. So let me know what you think about that answer. If you agree with me, if you disagree with me. And believe me, there are a lot of teams, a lot of organizations, a lot of different levels that say a lot of different things about the mental approach. And I myself have played for different organizations and under different coaches and general managers and farm directors that have had different opinions at the major league level. So we're talking about the highest level in baseball, and you've had different opinions from different people there. So I don't think there's one perfect way to do it, but I think that being aggressive to your pitch is probably the way I've seen it most at the higher levels of baseball. So let me know what you think, if you agree, if you disagree, and give me your approach. What do you use? So I hope that helps, and we'll talk to you later. Thanks.